Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. What you want to talk about? Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, Lisa, Lopre, JT, and friends. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. What you want to talk about? Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, Lisa, Lopre, JT, and friends.
Lisa, Lopre, JT, and friends. Y'all ready to cook up some conversation? Come on.
Kitchen talk.
Let's talk.
Hey.
Salute. Welcome back, Jordan.
Thank you.
Hey, Jordan.
What's up?
Back in the kitchen. You almost becoming a regular.
I'm enjoying it. Great conversation.
We are so happy to see you. So, friends, Jordan is in Nashville at Vanderbilt working on his master's now.
Yes.
Yeah, the last time we talked, you were literally getting ready to roll out. So how you liking it up there? The weather has changed?
The weather is very inconsistent. I thought Florida was inconsistent, but Tennessee has Florida beat as of right now. But it's great. I'm enjoying it. Vanderbilt's great. Tennessee is great. Nashville is great. So I'm enjoying it, just taking it all in.
I bet. Are you churching? Are you virtual churching?
I am virtual churching, but I've been invited to a few spots where people are socially distanced and a very limited amount of folk. But for the most part, I've been right here in the room on the TV, watching church.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so different, isn't it?
It's different. No.
It's not different, friends.
Not for me. Although I love going to my church, I also knew how to do the bedside Baptist. See, I getting new to this bedside Baptist. Bedside Baptist has been around but way before COVID.
Yeah.
So you got to know how to. So my new bedside Baptist people, you got to know how to, roll it out. You can watch it on your TV. You can watch it on your phone. It's instant access. Come on.
Bedside Baptist with Pastor Pillar and a comforter choir.
Hey.
I've been a couple of times.
That comforter ain't no joke. JT, what's up?
JT.
Who is that?
I'm gonna tell you, JT know about bedside Baptist more than anybody.
Who do you think you're talking to?
I know you know.
I actually probably go to church more than you have ever been in your life.
You're probably right.
Probably.
Well, I tell you what, I think Jordan was probably born in the church or right beside it one.
Right.
Oh man. Listen, Jordan, I got to let you know, man. If that is indeed the case, I know what it's like to be at prayer meeting on Wednesday and this or what's on Thursday night?
You got choir rehearsal.
Choir rehearsal on Thursday.
Choir rehearsal on Thursday. Usher board meeting on Friday.
The youth on Saturday.
Youth Saturday.
Yeah, youth Saturday. You got it.
Sunday morning service and then BTU.
Listen, and then come back for the evening service.
That's BTU.
Come back. You got to come back.
I'm gonna tell you straight up. I ain't play that. I ain't go to. If I go to church one time on Sunday, that's a wrap.
Oh, then I beat you. I beat you. Then I went in the morning, and we came back at night. Listen,
I didn't get nothing about all that.
Sometimes we all day.
Right, sun up to sundown. You ate at the church.
Yeah,
you had another service.
You know it. That's what I'm talking about. Some good church
right.
folks. You understand? We family.
That's right.
We
That's
eat,
right.
we pray together, we eat together, we sleep together. We take a nap on the benches and wake up to hear the good word. What's that?
Hey, listen. I hate to say that, but some of them pastors in Tallahassee take that literally. I'm sorry. Was I supposed to say? I wasn't supposed to say that, huh?
You all right?
So I'm giving you guys JT and France view tonight. I'm still in the kitchen, but it's the other side of the counter tonight. So this is, you guys missed this. This is your guys' view.
Yeah, I know, right?
Side.
When I saw the picture, I was like, "Oh man, that's my spot, man."
That's your spot. I'm on their side tonight. I'm on their side of the counter tonight. Yep.
Love it, love it.
Their spot. So listen, we are 5 days away from the general election, right?
That's correct.
And so there is, have you guys seen some of the advertisements and the videos on social media, on TV? I saw this one. I was like, they are so serious about this that they have moved to it's kind of like a shaming or a bullying kind of thing, right? So there's a commercial that says your vote is private, but whether you voted or not is public record.
I saw that.
So people can look up. Is anybody really sitting down looking up if you voted or
not? Oh yeah. Oh
I can guarantee you they are.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can everybody come over to your grandma's house on Sunday, just nigga, you ain't vote. So you mean to tell me you ain't vote?
On you.
Don't sit here and complain. I don't want to hear you say nothing else about Donald Trump and you ain't get out and vote.
Okay. Oh my goodness. I did not know. I was like, Lord, they for real. They going to voter shaming. Like, we gonna know. We gonna know if you ain't vote.
There's a watch group that literally watches to see who did what.
Wow.
They don't know who you voted for.
Right.
Well, they won't let that out.
They gonna let you know. Oh my goodness.
Know if you voted or not. So did anybody vote already? Early voting. I know Lisa, I think you did, but
I haven't yet. I did do a mail-in. So I have my ballot. I have it filled out. I have it sealed. I have it signed, and I'm taking it tomorrow. Got it. So I have done that, but I haven't taken it to and I'm taking it to the supervisor of elections office.
I've already taken mine to the supervisor of elections office.
Cool beans.
Awesome.
Cool beans.
I mailed mine in on Monday.
God dang it, boy. Dang, you ain't gonna your vote ain't gonna count.
I know I was just about to put this out there, like, for all the people watching. If you have not if you're doing the mail-in ballot, don't mail it in, go drop it off. But there's no way I could get around that. So I had
Jordan, what's your problem? You couldn't come to Tallahassee and get your vote done.
You know, I thought about it and then I looked at the expense and I had to, make some proper judgment.
The people who are actually mailing their ballots in, a good friend of mine, she has been doing that for a long time. And what she stated, I said, that's a good idea. Take a picture of the bar so that you can track your ballot. And most people probably didn't even know that they can actually track their ballot all the way.
You can track it. You can still track it even if you don't have that. All you gotta do is go on the supervisor of elections office website and just put in your name. There's a link that says track my ballot or see where I am, because that's how I checked my primary, because I did the same thing with the primary. Okay. I did a mail-in. I dropped it off at an early voting precinct. About a few days, maybe a week, I went in, I clicked on that button, and it said counted and checked. It was in and it was counted. So Jordan, like maybe Friday, just check on it. Definitely. And see if it made it there. And if it did not, call your supervisor of elections office and let them know. Let your voice, which I know you will do, because you're gonna make sure your voice is heard, which is another reason why I invited Jordan back today, because I wanted to take have some discussion time with Gen Z and see, how you guys are feeling about this. So I was talking to, or I was on a Zoom, and one of our psychology professors, they put together this panel about voting with the current college students and things like that. And some of them are voting, and a good number of them are either undecided or not voting.
Oh,
And
wow.
one of their reasons why, because I was like, well, what is the main reason? It was like a whole bunch of reasons. But the main reason was they honestly felt like it was useless, like it's not doing anything. So, Jordan, have you heard that?
Yes, I've heard a little bit of both, to be honest with you. Just like you, I've heard of people that have decided not to vote because they feel like it's useless, because of the electoral college, because of several different things. But from the people that I'm around and those that I've talked to, the majority of us are voting, and think that this is an important election to vote in. And so we have different thoughts, just about government and America and systems and things like that. And so I just want to remind people that in the voting process, voting is the floor, not the ceiling, right? I heard a preacher say that here. It's the floor, it's not the ceiling. Floor, the voting is the entrance into the door.
Correct.
And then you can keep people and hold people accountable, as you continue on. And so it's not like we vote and then everything is changed. No,
Right.
You vote, you call your senator, you call your county commissioner, and you make sure that the agenda, the policies that you want and that you need are going to go through. And so I think people have it messed up as far as, and I think that's kind of what deters people, because people just vote and then just assume that things are supposed to change. But that's just the entrance into the door. You're in the lobby. You're not in the actual building yet. And so we got to hold people accountable.
I had a conversation today. I went to get my hair cut. Shout out to Faye's Barbershop. My barber Candace had a really good conversation about this. And an older gentleman came in, I would say middle age. And he said the same, that he, vote this way or vote that way, or they may not vote. And I said, it's kind of interesting how people are still debating on the process and not really understanding the process, that it is the beginning stage, right? Regardless of who gets in, we still got to keep them accountable, right? If I'm still voting for Joe to get in, hey, Carmela, Joe, are y'all doing what you need to do? This is what you said you were going to do. We're going to hold you to the line. And here's some other things that, we want from this process. So the other thing is that the voting piece goes far beyond just, this year. Mm-hmm. The policies that are going to be made will last another 4, 5, 6 yees, right?
Right.
So we're still living under some of Obama's policies, which is why Trump has been really pushing to change everything, because those policies are going to hold for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
Even with this new elected Supreme Court justice, I thought all of that is stuff that is going to affect our lives. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but as we continue to go, 5 years now, we're going to feel that.
Do you realize?
Go ahead, JT.
I was going to say, do y'all realize that they did that in secret? Mm-hmm. They did it in secret. Like nobody, I did not know that this lady had been voted in.
She's been confirmed.
And I'm listening.
She's been confirmed.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Ain't nobody, listen, nobody knew. I was listening to Steve Harvey Morning Show this morning, and they said it.
Yeah,
she's been confirmed. Nobody knew about it though.
She has
they did behind closed doors.
She has no real background. No real
wow.
For there's nothing to say that she has the experience to do this job.
And this is a lifetime appointment. Like, this is hers until she give it up or die.
Right.
Yeah.
I only think she has 3 years of experience in being a judge. The rest of it was a professor at Notre Dame, I believe.
Correct.
So not even practicing law?
No.
The only thing, she's just a Trump girl. So that, and that's why they got her in.
Yeah.
They said, listen, they said Clarence Thomas was the only person that showed up. Like, dead ass serious. Clarence Thomas, sorry about my language, Lisa. I know I got to hear that later. Whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna say a few more. But they said he was he was the only one that showed up. Nobody else showed up. Huh?
Wow. I said I'm gonna put you
out. I don't even I could see that happening. That nobody else is gonna confirm or watch that because listen, you have to have some history, some experience, some background, but again, it goes back to what they really want.
Exactly.
45 Trump had no experience, no background. Even with what he said as a businessman, you know, failed so many times. Come on, that man. You still owe people money. You still to this day owe people money.
Oh no, I do not. I owe no one money at all. You're wrong. That is fake news. It's all fake news. I don't even know what you're talking about. Money. I have not used money in about 35, 42 years. I don't even know what money is. I stopped using money a long time ago. I was the first person. As a matter of fact, I invented Bitcoin. Nobody else even knows what Bitcoin is. It was one day I had a quarter in my mouth and I bit on it and I said, you know what? I'm going to invent Bitcoin because this is what this is right now. I don't understand why everybody. I'm also the president of the United States.
But I mean, when you think about it too, because if you look at, and we had a conversation, or we're putting together an expo conversation panel with our youth about different careers, right? And so politics is one of the careers that we're talking about. When you look at qualifications for any job, you have to have a university degree. If you're going to be this, if you're going to be that, my job, the requirement was a master's degree, my job, which don't affect a whole country of people. But if you look at the qualifications for politicians, it's just age and natural citizenship.
Correct.
And that's it.
Well,
we need to change that. Like, how can we get that in a law or on a ballot? Come on.
I think it was set up that way mainly because when the country was developed, that everybody would have a chance to become, you know, president, vice president, or whatever. But that's not the case anymore. So I do think that there's room to change and to grow, especially since we have all of these great universities, right? One of the classes I teach, even before I started teaching this leadership class, I was always doing leadership workshops. My business is based off developing leaders, right? It doesn't make sense that the person who's leading the nation does not have any leadership skills. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, we should be picking from the cream of the crop, right? Here, Jordan at Vanderbilt, you know, I should say, you know what? He has the skills because he got some of this information, this knowledge base. He has the experience. He should be in line to be X, Y, and Z. He has the ability to do the job.
Right.
And that is why they hired me as the president. That was why I am now the president of the United States of
right.
What is it? America. That's what this is. Yeah, I forgot. My wife is. And that is why I have leadership skills. I have more leadership skills than Lisa, and Lisa has more.
I think it's weird.
I don't.
So it's funny you should say that, France, because I call Jordan my future POTUS. I do. I've been Jordan. How long I've been calling you that? Almost since I met you.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say in the older because I met him a little when he was a little younger.
Right.
But since he's been an adult, I've definitely been calling. I'm like, Jordan, you got to hurry up and get old 35 so I can get you in this office and you can make some changes. Like Jordan, Jordan just kind of looks at me like, yeah.
Never be.
No, you said it right. You said it right. And that's
But he is, and he needs to be. I'm talking about you in front of your face, which I do all the time.
Never be a president.
But he is such, you can
No
see
other
light
president better than
and
me.
leadership. You see light and leadership in our young people. And Jordan is one of the young people that I see, light and leadership.
The only Jordan I respect is Michael Jordan.
Jordan, do you have those aspirations?
No, because he cannot. Because I said so. If you want to be the president, you got to go through me. Even if I lose, I am not leaving the White House. I'm interrupting you.
He really
They were gonna have to.
He don't.
He don't. And I think.
Yeah, that's it. I think he's scared
because he's going to jail.
Yeah,
he already knows it. He knows that he's going to go to jail. So I'm sorry, man. Go ahead, Jordan.
No, you good. You good. No, I was just saying that I don't necessarily have any aspirations for being the president, but definitely in politics, involved in some form, whether that's an activist. I know when I was younger, I did want to get in local or state government because I feel like you make more direct changes with local and state government just because it's a smaller entity. And so that's kind of what I'm looking into, local and state government. But that presidency, maybe some.
No. Let me tell you.
I've already spoken it, Jordan. So
one of the things that we have to do, and I said this when Obama got elected, it was a great day. That election day, that election year, his first year, it changed the mindset of the country, but we did not change our mindset completely in terms of preparing for the next 8 years, right? Mm-hmm. So after he did his first term and his second term, we should have already been thinking about, well, who's going to come next? Mm-hmm. And I've talked to a lot of older politicians, and that's one of the things that they've talked about a lot, right? Like, who's going to take my space?
Succession plans.
All I see is older folks, and exactly. Mm-hmm. What's our plan of action? And I think that's why I love the class that I teach, and I love the stuff that I do. It's really empowering our young folks to say, you know what, I can do it. Mm-hmm. I can run for office. I can make a change. I can be a whatever and make a difference.
Yeah.
But if we're not cultivating that, even on a local level, right, then we're going to have issues taking it to a national level. Yeah. So I commend you, school board member, all the way up to city councilman, to mayor, to governor. All of these, those are the pieces that really keep us moving on a day-to-day basis, right? Mm-hmm. What the federal government is doing is supplementing that. And if we don't have our act together on a local level, then it's a bigger problem.
Right. So I know, Jordan, one of your heroes is the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. And I know I've seen or read some of the history and his quotes. And when they asked him about a Black president, he almost called it to the day that we would actually get one. In knowing what you know about him and in researching him and studying him, what would you think he would say about what was going on right now?
Oh boy. That's a big question. That's a big question. Let me first say I'm honored and feel privileged to be asked that question because that's a big question.
I probably should have gave you a little notice, huh? I honestly didn't think about it until just now, so I'm sorry, Jordan.
It's a really good question. I want to respond to it, but I'm gonna let you go first.
I think King would be proud of the progress we made. And I know this may sound cliche, but I think he would be proud of the progress we made. But I think there are some steps that we missed along the way that led us to this point. And I mean, when we look at when King died, who then was to take the reign? And we had people take the ranks, but who then was to take the ranks as he did to continue to lead us forward? And I'm not discrediting any of our leaders that have led us to this fight thus far. But there's been a difference since King has died. Just from what I heard and what I've learned and all that sorts of things. But also we do realize that there probably there was only one king. There may only be that king for that generation. I don't know. This question's hard. But
that could be your next paper.
Let me help you out. Let me help you out, Jordan. Let me help you out. First off, Dr. King, I don't think he would be proud of this moment.
Yeah.
I don't think he would be proud of this moment. One of the things that happened after he died is what we just talked about. There should have been several, not one, right? Several people to take the stage to say, okay, we're going to keep this momentum going, right? They killed him for a reason. They knew that he could have essentially become and placed himself in the White House in some type of way. And that's what nobody wanted, right? No, nobody at that time wanted. I'll put it in that context. But I don't think he'll be proud because it's taken us a long time to get to where we are. Have we made progress? Yes, surely. But how much more could we have done, right? If we did what I just stated, build our young people up to say, hey, I can take the role, I can take the stance. I think that's probably one of the biggest things that's hurting us as a community is that we're still living in the king's era or shadow to say, you know what? There's never going to be another. And you're right. There's never going to be another Dr. King. But there is going to be a greater person than Dr. King because that's what his idea was about, right? He saw a greater future, which means that we have to step up to the challenge just like he did. I think it's taken us some time to do it. The young folks today, I commend them, not only those who are in the streets, but those who are in the courtroom, those who are making some policy changes, those who are writing some of the scripts to say, hey, we need to make this thing work for all Americans, not just some Americans. So you got to give them kudos. But for us to get to this point, we should have been here. We should have been surpassed this point.
Right. But I think too, France, I think there were folks that stepped up, right? And I think that there were young folks. I mean, you look at John Lewis, who just passed, right? He was what, 20 something when he really went full force in this. But I think we began to have pockets and different leaders instead of having that united kind of leadership. And I think that might have been where we may have gotten off track a little bit because we had the Jesse Jacksons, we got the Al Sharptons, we got, Lowry and the different people like that, Vivian and Lewis. But that coming together piece and the other piece that I thought that we missed, and like you, Jordan, I honestly think he would be proud of some of the progress that we made, but I think he would be disappointed at the upheaval of the hate.
Correct.
That has just it was I'm not gonna say it ever went away, but the resurgence of it is mind blowing a little bit.
Think about
to me.
It's like
dealing with
it's like we reliving what happened then, except for now instead of dogs is guns.
Correct.
Instead of ropes and trees, it's bullets.
Correct.
You know, and so to me, it's just so crazy that we see this. And the other part of King and even Malcolm X, right? So to me, that was so when they had their meeting that we don't really know that much about. But when they met, I believe I wasn't around, but I believe that really was going to spark another form of uniting. Yes, we may have different beliefs, but on this right here about racial equality and freedom, they were about to come together. And so why, and we talk about this on Kids Talk a lot about us coming together. And do we actually need that one leader?
So one of my favorite things that I like to watch the Knights of the Round Table, right? King Arthur and what he stood for. Think about it. Even King Arthur at that time says, you know what? Every person has a voice at this table. There's no one person. We all gonna sit and we all have a chance to express how we feel, express our thoughts, express what the battle plans are gonna be if they switch or whatnot. You are not just a commoner anymore. You are a knight of this realm. I think that's what needed to happen. And with King, I think a lot of people would say, well, we need this one leader. Well, no, there were so many people behind the scenes that were leading the cause. They were literally doing a lot of work from the church secretaries, communicating with each other, to the different pastors, you know, to all the kids who were just following in line to say, we're going to make this work. I think there was a table that needed to be made to say, okay, I have a voice. I think everybody just said, well, I'm going to be the next king. Some of the people that we've just talked about, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be the next king. I'm going to be the
everybody wanted to be the leader. Everybody wanted to be the big guy.
That's not how it works. It works when we all could come together and strategically move, strategically say, this is how we all would benefit. Not just my family, not just your family, but how can we all benefit? I think that piece was dropped. So there was no leadership table, a round table. Now, should there be a singular voice? Yeah, to help that cause go out. But I think that table of, hey, all of us are working together. If anything, I would say that's the one thing King probably would disagree of. He was not just the king, right? He didn't rule as a king. Everybody had a voice in this.
Yeah. Jordan, what were you going? You ain't lose your thought, did you?
No.
Okay, good.
I think I'm just thinking about how we're talking about King and the fact that we talk about King because we've Americanized King so much. And so the simple fact that we've been taught of this one leader as being this person, and so that's what our history teachers and in power, when they write this curriculum, that's what they want us to believe.
That is so true, Jordan.
Yes, King was this leader who loved and was this leader who was about equality pre-1965. And then after 1965, in King's final years, you find a king that is kind of upset and is calling America out for all the different things that it has done to Black people and people of minority and less fortunate people. Right. And so that's when you start seeing people kind of get antsy about King, and soon enough they kill King. And so it's almost, and I heard this, and I may be quoting wrong, but from my understanding of this story between the dichotomy of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, while Martin Luther King was preaching, this whole thing was planned, right? While King was speaking about equality and love and brothers and sisters walking together in unity, you had Malcolm X on the other hand preaching a more stronger message. And so from my understanding, all of this was planned because Malcolm X understood that they're going to have to listen to one of us. We're both raising hell, and they're going to have to listen to one of us. And the one that they're going to listen to the most would be King. So if I raise enough hell over here, that forces them to listen to King.
Right.
So when that's the kind of message that you kind of see when King's emergence as this prominent leader, which kind of puts Malcolm X aside, but it also shows you how Malcolm X sacrificed his reputation, sacrificed him being this prominent leader in certain people's eyes for the betterment of the Black community, for the advancement of Black people.
I kind of disagree in the sense that Malcolm at a certain point changed his viewpoint based upon what the church was doing to him, right? They had that at a certain point said, you know, we're not feeling you anymore, Doc. After you took your trip to Mecca and you got a little bit more wisdom, you came back to one state. When the nation took Malcolm out of the equation, it kind of changed how he saw the whole dichotomy of how things should be, right? So it kind of, and again, the nation also took away his voice.
Yeah.
He had a lot more reach with the nation. So now that he's not with the nation, he still has a voice because people loved what he was sharing.
Right.
But he went into a more of a peaceful mode. I'm still protect my family. I still got my stuff, but you know what? There might be a way where we could. I'm starting to hear what Dr. King has to say.
Yeah.
Only because he saw the truth.
Yes and no. I think both of them kind of saw each other's vision, right? Because now here's Dr. King starting to realize, we might need to start building our own, creating our own, developing our own, because you're not really listening to the fact that we are a part of this.
Right.
Community. We're a part of the nation. We're not just another segment. We are Americans. So you got to treat us in that fashion.
Jamal, can you put that comment back up for us, please?
Dax.
So
where's my glasses? I'm trying to read it.
I agree with you. When you talk about we need to move. Thank you, Dax, for your comment, for joining the conversation. Appreciate you. Thank you, Cam. That's one of our church babies. I guess I shouldn't call him a baby. He's 13
They're
now.
not babies no more.
I know. Babies. I can't help it. But such an important conversation tonight. I mean, I know we were talking about voting, but it all kind of comes together. But I agree with you that we need to call for more than just racial equality. I agree. I mean, you are absolutely right. I appreciate that. Thank you, Dex, for the comment. French, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I think he's bringing the point back into what we were discussing with the voting. Here's Dr. King now. He's in the White House, right? He has access to the president. And he goes and says, "Hey, Lyndon, we got to do something."
Right.
So at this point, you know, they're starting to see that this is a young man who's starting to shine. White and Black folks are now saying this guy has some real, going back to the word, leadership skills, right? He's a natural leader. And because of that, we're going to have to take him out.
We got to get him out of there. We got to take him out.
So they're fine as long as you're keeping the Black folks in line.
Correct.
But when you start seeing them raise up and saying, "Look, this is not right. This is not fair," and this is where our voices have to be heard. We have to stand up and say, "You know what? This is not right." How is it in 2020 we still gotta have a voting rights bill? Come on.
Right.
How is it in 2020 we are still as Black people trying to prove that we're human?
Correct.
What happened to all men are created equal? Right. And can we never fall in that?
They just did that. They just put that in there so people could feel good about themselves. They really didn't mean that.
No, but think about it. At that time when that was placed, it was not about Black people.
It was not.
It was about those who were there with them. So all the men who were there you're created equal in our eyes. So
you got to think about it. We weren't seen as equal. We weren't seen as men. We were seen as animals.
As property.
Unless you were someone of knowledge, if you were someone who had the skill sets to help them through something, then you were, we like you, but we're not going to tell everybody we like you. Does that make sense?
And if we can control you, they find if they can control you.
You know how to read, you're well, you can articulate well, or you know how to sell, through these crazy lands. Okay, we like you. You got something to offer. We like you. But if we don't find value in you, then forget it. And that's essentially what Dr. King was looking to do, right? Let's make some policy changes so that we can start building on this. It don't make sense that we have to literally put a policy together to say that Black people should have the same rights as everybody else. Right. That they can use the bathroom with everybody. It doesn't make sense, but they had to literally put a law into place so these things could take, place. I think that's what the fear is. If we get somebody in there who's going to put some laws into place to change some things that we love, then that's a problem.
So my thing is, I'm sorry, Jordan, hold on one second. So my thing is, why not write it in such a way that you don't need those amendments? We are all men, women, whatever, and we have all the full rights and privileges. Can we write it in that way so that it negates all of these amendments that you had to put in because I'm Black or because I'm this or because I'm that? To me, that is making it equality, because not just Black people, but I'm double because I'm Black and a woman.
Right.
So women had to have an amendment to vote as well. Yeah. So why not write it in such a way, or do some fancy amendment once and for all? If you human, you have all the rights and privileges of everybody else. Jordan, what were we gonna say?
No, I was just gonna add on to kind of what both of y'all are saying. I think the intent behind this Constitution of all men created equal, or I think that they meant what they said. All men are created equal. And so I think when you look at those that are fundamentalists when it comes to the Constitution, they read it literally. They don't understand that when they said all men, they really meant all men, all white men.
All white men.
Right, there. Yes.
Black people were looked at as animals, as property. Right. The fact that women were not considered, they really meant all men. Correct. And we can't look at this look at this Constitution as I think the lady that was just nominated as or was just confirmed as a justice, taking the literal meaning of these constitutions. I think that is bad. I think it's a terrible approach, because we have changed over 200 plus years from what the Constitution intent was and what it is now. I think when you look at, and when she says those type of things about taking the literal intent of the Constitution, she doesn't realize, or maybe she does, but she doesn't realize that you're excluding yourself.
That's correct.
You weren't
a crazy thing.
Right.
I'm sorry. Go. What's the difference?
In Florida, the Constitution for Florida, or the laws for Florida, has changed so many times. Right. There's always an amendment. There's always a change. There's still, even when you vote now, I was going to say that, look at the amendments. Don't just look at the president. Do your research. Look at the amendments. Florida has changed its constitution or laws so many times, whereas the federal, our national constitution, has made very little changes. Mm-hmm. But we as a country, we as a people have changed and evolved in so many ways. They can make that adjustment. And to me, it's yes, I want to remember my history. And yes, I want to, be grateful for the people that made this possible. But at the same time, I think they would want us to progress too, right? Because they made a progression. right? They left England to come here out of progress. Here we are today, still living off of some of the same laws, right? That should have been changed. That doesn't say just all men, but all men and women, right? Little adjustments.
People, just people.
People, all citizens. You know that now they're giving you the citizens to vote in Florida. That's one of the. If you're a citizen, it's just a little word that they're changing. Only citizens get a right to vote. Just the word "only" is the word that they're changing. It blows my mind. Again, how we changed so much for the state levels, but we do very little on the national stage where it should be changed.
Yeah. I think about
you talked about, Lisa. If you're running for president, you just can't be a certain age. You also have to have certain criterias, right?
We need some criteria. But I often think about this, and y'all know I just got church in my bones, but I think about how traditions, right? So we get stuck in these traditions. And when you try to get rid of those traditions, then oh my God, you disgracing the church. Like the tradition of lining a hymn, right? So that the reasoning behind the tradition was because the folks could not read. Correct. So the person that could read would line it and the people would sing.
Right.
We all can read now.
Right.
So you don't need that no more.
Right.
I got a question.
If you say we don't need to do that no more, oh my God, everybody in an uproar. And I think that's what it is when it comes to the federal national U.S. Constitution. Is that it's so traditional that we got to hold on to this. No, we've evolved. Can we evolve? Can we change? Can we move with what? And we're not getting rid of the fundamentals, right?
Correct.
We still gonna sing the hymn. We just ain't gonna sing it that way.
Correct. And that's the problem on a federal level. You know, we still gonna do. Here's the other thing. Why would we do anything to put ourselves in harm? Right? It is set up for us to succeed. The Bill of Rights, we're trying to pursue happiness. Right?
We were not supposed to be happy.
Oh man, it just don't make sense. But again, you have your traditionalists who don't want to change that. They want to keep it like Jordan just said, to the word. And sometimes they don't even know that it's hurting them more than it's hurting anybody else. But I do think that there are people who use that to their advantage, their elastic clause, right? I know we all heard of that. You kind of use the law to kind of spin it your way so that you can benefit. Because if somebody else benefits, then it's not your benefit.
Right.
And that's the problem.
Which is why it's so. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jordan.
No, I was just making comments. That's all. Just a little commentary.
Which is why it's so important for us to get out and vote. Like it's almost dire. So you know that you need to come and hang out with us every week. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
And listen, if you're gonna get Dax on the show, y'all better be ready. I know that guy.
But he is absolutely right. It's money. It is money. Money rules the world. I'm sorry. It really does. So you are absolutely right. It is money. And
which goes back to Malcolm. Malcolm X's piece, right? He knew at the time if we galvanized together, how much we could, even today, right now, if we could galvanize together, how much we could do. Lisa, you know, you and I go on this all the time about the different churches. To me, that's what helped Dr. King be who he is or who he was. It was the united front of the Black church to say, we got your back and we're going to push you through this.
The religious community at large, actually, because if you think about Selma, right?
Right.
So that wasn't just a Black church, right?
Correct.
So that was the religious community and the rallying of other folks that, because of media, saw what was going on, and decided, you know what, I can't turn away from this.
Correct.
Look, fast forward to 2020, you see George Floyd, and now the people are like, whatever color, white, black, orange, purple, whatever color they are, I can't turn away from this.
Correct.
And now I got to say something. I got to do something.
Don't forget to say her name.
Sandra. Oh, no,
Sandra.
no, not Sandra Bland. I was about to say Sandra Bland, but Brianna.
Brianna, there it is. You got to say that, because even Brianna has brought a light.
Yeah.
That people are like, before, I'm not going to say too much.
Yeah.
But this young lady was, for no reason.
No reason.
She was a frontline worker. And that's the thing that Dr. King was pushing. These are front. I don't care if they're a garbage man, a sweet cleaner, a lawyer, doctor, dentist. We all have a place at the table. We all are trying to pursue. Don't take away something that we should already have, our own dignity. But again, here we are in 2020, but we don't need that. I don't need validation, right? I don't need you to say, oh, you're doing a good job. Oh, you're part of, you know what? It's okay. We have our own bank now.
Right. What I do need is for you to keep your knee off my neck. That's what I do need.
But you know what? How you fix that, Lisa? We have our own police department, right? That's what they did not want with the Black Panthers, who decided that we're going to police our own community.
Right.
We also
saw that
on our neck.
We also saw that with Black Wall Street, prominent, flourishing community that they burned down and killed folks.
But you know what? Black Wall Street, what Tulsa didn't have was they didn't have a police department. They didn't have a force to say, no, if this happens, we're here to protect you, right? And that's America 101, right?
Yeah. The sad part is you in America, why would you even need that? That's the bottom line I get to. Why would you even need that? You weren't bothering nobody. You building up your own stuff. Come on, really?
Well,
so Jordan,
and envy.
So if you had to say to some young people, Jordan, is this your first presidential election?
No,
voting?
It's not. Jordan,
how old are you? If you don't mind saying,
I'm 22.
22? Okay.
Yeah, boy, I remember when I was 22.
No, he didn't. No, that would have been. Did you vote? No.
I didn't get a chance to vote for Barack.
No, This would have been Trump and Hillary. Trump and Hillary.
I thought you was in that number.
No, he probably was. He probably was in the audience, but no.
What a day!
He was in the audience, but he did not get to cast a ballot. Not yet. But what would you say to somebody that, just turned 18 or just turned 19? And how would you convey to them the seriousness of voting? And not just at this pivotal moment in history right now, but just overall.
Yeah. I think it's our duty as people a part of a democracy, right? That we allow our voices to be heard. I think it was a John Lewis who talked about voting being sacred. And that it's a part of us. It's an aid in us. Is as people who have autonomy over ourselves and have a voice to speak. I think it's vital. It's vital that you allow your voice to be heard about things in your community, about things in your city, about things in your state, and on the national level. And I think he also spoke of it's the most powerful nonviolent tool that we have. Correct. So when things do get frustrating, the power of the vote is so powerful. And so I think it's imperative for us to get out and vote. And when you get frustrated with the process, just be reminded that this race is not given to the swift nor to the strong.
You better preach.
But it's given to hold out and endure, until
the end.
To the end.
Again,
so
this is why we need
frustrated. That's what we're here for. That's why we have community. And so build upon that. And keep moving forward. That would be my advice.
Good. And then one more question. In that same vein, how would you encourage them to get started?
Yes. I actually was doing a little research before I got on here. There's a website. There's several websites, but the website I was looking at was Black Voters Matter, which is online, and it has almost every state on there and different ways you can vote, know how to vote. The deadline. The other thing that's important is the deadline of the census, which is October 31st.
Right.
So that's ending on Saturday. So if you haven't completed your census, please get that in. That's very important because that is how we determine what funds go into what communities. And so that's important as well. So different websites, the NAACP, NAN, National Action Network, Black Voters Matter, iwillvote.com. There's several different websites that'll tell you about your polling stations, tell you about where to vote, and then also do your homework. Be an informed voter. What irks me more now than ever is people who go into the polls and don't know who they're voting for or what they're voting for. Not even talking about the president. I'm talking about who are your who's running for your county commission.
Correct.
Who are these people? Like France said, like these amendments. What do they mean? There's tools out there for us to glean from, and with us having the internet and Google, it's possible. We don't have an excuse anymore. We really don't.
I'm gonna say this too. The end is it doesn't end at the vote.
Yes.
Your voice needs to continue to be heard, and you need to be vigilant in watching what's happening. So yes, I voted for this person to get into office. I need to know what's happening. What are you doing? Ice Cube has been getting ridiculed lately in the news for what he has been doing, but I like his stance in terms of what, I want to work with a person that wants to work with me.
Right.
So whoever gets in, we're gonna have to have a conversation.
Right.
And let's work together to make this thing work. That is, to me, after the vote, you still got to get in and let your voice be heard. Find out what they're doing, how they spending this money. It's your money.
Them entertainers, that's a whole nother kitchen talk.
That's a kitchen talk.
There's a whole nother kitchen talk. Ice Cube,
50 Cent.
What's dude named 50 Cent talking about vote for Trump? I'm like, dude.
Yeah, man. I'm just saying, you should have to go out and get rich or die trying.
Right now, because of the way our system is set up, you can put anybody on the ballot, right? You got rapper Kanye West on the ballot.
Cameron just said that in the comments. He was like, Kanye West.
Kanye West, and he could literally he could almost be the president if he
really could. You really could. I mean, which is how we got Donald Trump, right? But
Donna, you got to think about it. Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump was just a joke that went too far.
It did. Absolutely.
And after it got to a certain point, they couldn't turn back.
They couldn't take it back.
Well, here's
and I also think that they thought that they were going to be able to control him.
No,
I don't know how they thought that, but they thought that they thought they was going to be able to puppeteer him.
Right.
And that wasn't going to happen.
Here's an opportunity right now to make that change. We just got to get out and vote. But like I said, regardless of who wins, it's still up to us to ensure that all of our politicians are doing what they said they were going to do. Here I am again at the barbershop. They were just talking about how many people were walking into the barbershop. They were putting all their mail. I don't know how much mail y'all got in recent days, but my mailbox has been littered with just junk.
I'm so sick of these vote for
text
me
messages.
Oh my God, these text messages. All I'm doing is like, stop.
Have y'all been hearing my boy? Look at here. I'm aggravated.
Am I going to hear from them again? That's the question. Is this person going to come back to the barbershop and tell me, here are the policies that I have put in place. Here's some of the things that I would like to do. Here's why I want you at the table. Right. That's the difference. So we can't just depend on the vote. We still got to keep our voices out so that they know that, you know, when we see you doing wrong, we coming for you. We coming for you again. So anyways,
I'm telling you, it's been, well, the time is already gone, guys.
Look at that. 10:01 already. Look at that.
Already. I'm telling you, these conversations in the kitchen, they do something to you.
Clearly, they don't make you grow taller.
Thank you so much. What'd you say, JT?
Huh?
What did you say? I probably shouldn't have asked. Never mind. Thank you, Jordan, for hanging out with us in the kitchen again. We appreciate you so much.
It was a pleasure.
We gotta have you come back. We gotta definitely have you come back. Listen, if you're watching us on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button so you'll never miss another show. Yeah. If you are watching us on Facebook, hit the like button. Thank you so much. And as a reminder, check your supervisor of elections office. But I do believe around the country, early voting is happening right now. Yeah. Early voting is happening right now. And then if you cannot do it during the early voting period, listen, November 3rd, Tuesday coming, get to your poll place and cast your vote. Be safe. Make sure you wear your mask and all the precautions that you need to take. Thank you, Cam. All the precautions that you need to take and get to the polls and vote. We cannot say that enough.
Not enough.
Thank you, everybody, for joining the conversation tonight. It was very lively, very lively. I appreciate it so much. We love you guys. Thank you. I love you. I'll see you, JT, in France next week. Jordan, hurry up and leave Nashville. We need you back in Florida. Stop playing.
Stay away from the white girls. Oh yeah, y'all make sure y'all check out my Facebook page. I know Lisa said something about we need to do some little videos about voting. So it's gonna be me as a few of my closest friends. How about that?
Okay.
Check it out.
Yeah, Sean Connery made an appearance tonight.
Oh my God. I'm scared. I'm so scared.
It ain't that bad.
Did y'all see the one that Samuel L. Jackson did?
I did.
I gotta check that out.
They cut out that last part. You gotta watch it on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Vote!
Oh yeah, you got to add that MF in there.
He didn't go quite that far, but yeah, he was a trip. All right, good people. Love you guys. See you next week. Jordan, be safe. Enjoy yourself. I love you. Miss you.
Miss you.
All right, Jordan.
All right, y'all.
Bye, guys.